This point is the world of opposites. When we make opposites in our mind, then our whole world becomes a world of opposites. Then our life has success and failure, good reputation, bad reputation, praise and blame, pleasure and pain. Birth and death, happiness and suffering appear and disappear endlessly. This point is the absolute world. Originally, everything is completely empty, nothing at all, no birth, no death. That is true peace. In Buddhism, we call that nirvana. This point is the complete world. If you experience and attain the absolute world, then when you see, you can see clearly. When you hear, you can hear clearly. Everything just the way it is the truth. The sound of the birds outside, the green trees, hot is hot, cold is cold. Birth is birth, death is death. Nothing is ever lacking. Moment to moment, you're always complete. So we talked about three worlds: opposite world, absolute world, complete world. How we keep our mind makes our world. That's a very important point. That's the heart of Buddha's teaching. Our mind makes our world. Nothing to blame others about. So one time Buddha asked the assembly, who is your best friend? Then he answered himself, a trained mind is your best friend. Then he asked everyone, who is your worst enemy? And again he answered himself, an untrained mind is your worst enemy. So following Buddha's teachings, we train our mind and become our own best friend. Our great grand teacher, the great Zen Master Gong, once was asked, why don't more people practice Buddhism? He said, most people want good things and don't want bad things. But because good and bad are opposites thinking, people don't understand. When you get a good thing, eventually you also get a bad thing. If you understand that, you will learn to practice correctly. So most people want good things, don't want bad things. That's natural. But good and bad things are always coming and going because good and bad are opposites thinking. So we have happiness and suffering around endlessly. Look at the world. Has it ever been peaceful for long? Even our own life. Somebody's born, everybody around the baby's happy, except the baby. They usually start crying right away. Maybe they know something that we forgot. But soon the baby also starts attaching to opposite ideas. But we follow Buddha's teaching, so we're not like that. When good things come, we learn to use them correctly. When bad things come, we also use them correctly. That's true freedom, not hindered or controlled by the things that appear in our life. How can we do that? We must digest all of our experiences. Even if you eat good food, if you don't digest it, it will make you sick. Even if you eat bad food, if you can digest it, it just becomes fresh, clear energy you can use to do anything. So first we must understand, I make good, I make bad. Then we must question ourselves, look back at ourselves to see what I'm making, how I do that. Question my ideas, my opinions, and don't be hindered by my situation. If we use Buddha's teaching and correctly practice, then we can do that. We can learn to look back and see ourselves clearly. Then we can digest any experience, any opinion, any body condition, any situation. Then our mind will become shining and bright, and our way will become clear. A long time ago, there was a man who owned some good farmland. He needed to buy a horse. So he went and he was able to buy a very good horse. Maybe like getting a BMW or a Benz. Then everybody said, oh, you must be happy. Then this man just said, what's happy? What's sad? Everybody thought, that's strange. Then one day, his eldest son was riding the horse and was thrown off and broke his leg. And nowadays, you break your leg, the doctors can do a very good job, and maybe soon, no problem. But a long time ago, if a person breaks their leg, it can change everything in their life. So everybody said to this man, you must be very sad. And he said, what's sad? What's happy? Everybody thought, what a strange man. Sometime later, the country's army came through their area and grabbed all the young men to become soldiers. You never know if you will see your young people again. But this boy had a very bad leg, so the army couldn't take him. Then everybody said to this man, you're very lucky. He just said, what's happy? What's sad? What's lucky? What's unlucky? That's not easy to do. Maybe you got divorced and you didn't want to. Then you're very sad. But later you meet a better partner. Then you're very happy. Then they die and you're very sad. But you're already old and they leave you a lot of money. So you're happy. Who knows? I've been surprised that through practicing, you actually can turn a bad situation into a good situation. How does that happen? Something inside. Sometimes I think about Buddha 5 years after he left home. He's very thin and suffering. Maybe Buddha thought, I made a big mistake. I left a good wife. My child, I was going to be king. Now I'm only thin, suffering. I didn't get enlightenment. Nobody wants me if I go back. Uh-oh, mistake. But the Buddha kept trying, and he found the correct way to try. And that's all he's been teaching us. And Seung Sunim also learned that, attained that. Even when he was dying, he looked like a cute boy. I think his body was suffering, but he didn't pass that to us. All of us can do that too. But we have to learn how to observe ourselves within. So Buddha's teaching is a great treasure for us. That's why we remember and celebrate his birthday every year. Every year on Seung Kunsinim's altar, we put miyeokguk and cheese omelet. He liked cheese omelet when he lived in the West, so we got to give him both. I never feel like crying, where did you go? Not at all. I'm always happy that he spent time with us. Yeah, and if you don't like somebody when you die, then maybe you're also happy when they die. Maybe you're also happy. It's natural. So, but don't hold that, okay? So, Buddha really showed us how to live this life and how to deal with the difficulties and the good things that appear. And so you come here today. And today we can give everybody lunch. That's the first time in, I think, 4 years, so we're all happy. Buddha's over 2,500 years old. He still looks good.
2000년.
You also over 2,500 years old. You look pretty good too. Look in the mirror when you go home and say, congratulations. In the beginning, I talked about 3 worlds, which we make with our own minds. We make the world of opposites, where suffering's always coming and going. Also, we can realize the original world, complete, absolute, empty, peaceful, no problem. Then we can attain that this world is complete moment to moment. Nothing's ever lacking. Even though every day you feel like, oh, I need something, I want something, you're hungry, you're tired, lonely. That also is complete. Nothing's lacking. Even when you want something, it's complete. That moment. Good job. I didn't write that one down. Then, which world do you make all the time? which is the best world? Ha! Today's Buddha's birthday, 2567. I'm very happy we can welcome everybody here today freely, without masks or with masks, whatever. And at lunch today, please eat a lot and be healthy.
감사합니다.